Hey, everybody. Welcome to On the Homefront. John Murphy here. Very happy you're with us here on WILI. We could be doing some live radio together. We're also recording the show for YouTube on the WILI Radio YouTube channel. A lot of our daytime shows have their own playlists. So if you ever miss a show, the guests are always there for you. And we give our guests links so they can share their stories in their own media to help them connect to you as much as we can. Our program today will be in two segments. We're going to end a little early for Red Sox coverage. We're going to look with the Cultural Coalition serving southeastern and northeastern Connecticut with Wendy Vincent. They're having a special meeting here in Windham on April 14th. It's an Arts Engage workshop right here at the Town Hall. But right now next to me is Brian Day from Eastern. He's in the Communication, Film, and Theater Department. I've had him on the program before, but the reason why he's here today is about a fantastic film festival happening at Eastern all day on Saturday, April 12th. So, Brian, first of all, thanks for your good work and for being here today.
You bet. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So this is the Green Frog Film Festival. The first time you have a chance to see a whole day of cinema, and I'll let you describe. You had over 200 submissions, and you just were swamped. Tell me about that. It was our first time trying this.
So, yes, this is the first time we've put on what's called the Eastern's Green Frog Film Festival, named after the Green Frog Bridge here in Willimantic.
Of course.
And it's focused on sustainability and the pillars of sustainability, which are economic issues, environmental issues, and social issues. And we had 213 films from around the world that were submitted, countries from every continent on the planet. Documentaries, fiction films, narrative films, experimental films, films that are about a minute long, up to 2-hour long films, feature films. And we had to go through the submissions and narrow it down to what we felt were acceptable for this project. And we ended up with 49 films from 21 countries.
Wow.
And it's going to be from 5 p.m. till 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. on Saturday night at Eastern's campus in 4 different spaces.
All right, on April 12th. It's going to be in the Student Center Theater and the Student Center in the heart of campus. They'll have a space there and 2 rooms. And in the communication building next door across the lawn is room 107. Let's give out a website or something people could jot down now, and we'll talk about that again, because this is going to be a great opportunity to see all these films right here in town.
Sure. If you're interested in coming, which we hope you are, you can find out more information by going to Eastern's website, easternconnecticut.edu, and then just do a search for Green Frog Film Festival, and you'll get to our homepage. Or if you do a Google search for Eastern's Green Frog Film Festival, you'll see a variety of pages that come up where you can get tickets to reserve. You can find our film page that's at Eastern, and you can also find our film page at filmfreeway.com, where we advertised it.
Right, because that's a whole international community of creators all over now. So I guess that was what you tapped into to give them a heads up, right? How did that work for you getting the word out?
Correct.
Yeah.
So back in the fall, the dean and our director of sustainability and myself met to talk about creating a film festival. And we got the idea of doing sustainability focused, and then I said, I'll put it on Film Freeway, we'll create a site for it, and we did. And honestly, we expected maybe 3 or 4 films. We did not expect to get what we did.
My God.
But the films just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming, and really exceeded anything I expected at all. And so it just blew up. And it was one site. You go into that site, and filmmakers from around the world know of that site, so they go there, and then they search for film festivals to represent the kind of content they're creating. And again, we're really looking at sustainability, the kind of environmentally focused, socially focused, and economically focused films.
Well, with that intention, just beyond dramatic film and nonfiction storytelling, that theme is immediately a global connection. That everybody has some aspect to this. Right.
Yeah. The stories that I've seen from around the world are just amazing. The way they're tapping into the climate issues that they're facing, the social issues they're facing. They're similar to what we're all experiencing everywhere, but the way they see it and the way they tell it are very different. So films that are coming from France, films that are coming from Iran, films that are coming from Chile, Brazil. It's just amazing to hear their stories and get that exposure. So it's pretty cool.
So that's Saturday, April 12th. Now, in terms of the program at Eastern now, they've had the new Fine Arts Center for several years now, and it's revolutionized the curriculum. The whole level of technology that the arts people have for their shows is raised very high. What kind of film work are you doing with this? I know you did a documentary recently with Kristen Morgan about the history of the whole tobacco thing in Connecticut.
Correct.
How did that resolve? You had a screening recently.
We did. We had a screening
on
at
campus.
Eastern, and we had a pretty good turnout for that, and the film was received well. And now we're putting the film back out to PBS and to distributors to see in this new packaged form how it's received. So hopefully that goes, and we're always making things at Eastern. We're always doing creative things. Kristen and I have some other projects on the back burner of what we're planning to do next, and our students are always creating content as well.
All right.
So it's an active place.
It is. It's great to have these stories to share with you. So the main Eastern website is easternct.edu, and then / Green Frog Film Festival, Saturday, April 12th from 5 to 10. Bring some friends. It's about a half a mile, 2 miles from our campus here. So please check it out. It should be a great time. So I wish you a great afternoon. It's going to be great films. I'm going to look forward to maybe having you folks back in June or May for a kind of a year in review.
That'd be great. That'd be great. Thank you. Hopefully you guys come out and see our films. It's going to be a fantastic event.
Yeah. It's a great way to connect to the planet through cinema. So thank you again. Okay, we're going to take a short break and stay in the arts focus and look at Southeastern Connecticut with the Cultural Coalition. Stay with us. All righty, that was a taste of some music from Bob Braylove and Patty Weiss. They have a new release that came out a couple of weeks ago called Acoustic Conversations. They're California-based. That track was called Devil's Bar Blues. And we'll be talking with Bob on the phone in the very near future. I wanted to give you a taste of this music. Bob recorded and did sound work with the Grateful Dead for many years. He made a record or two with Stevie Wonder. Patty Weiss has tried to connect her work in music with healing and psychotherapy. A very interesting mix of music here on this record, Acoustic Conversations. And we'll talk about that with Bob a little bit later. I wanted to give you a little taste of that today during the show. And as I mentioned, we're going to have to end a little early today for Red Sox coverage now that the season's underway. Once in a while, Wednesday games come up, and we'll play ball with the team, as we have to do here, as Wayne would say. So right now we have Wendy Vincent on the phone with us. She's the executive director at the Cultural Coalition serving southeastern and northeastern Connecticut. We've had her on the program before talking about her good work in the arts. So Wendy, it's good to have you back in the house again. Thanks for being here.
Hi, John. It's always great to be here. We always appreciate it when you have us on air with you. Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
You bet. We're happy to do that and keep this going all the time. Now, the main reason why we have Wendy here today is about an event here in town on April 14th. It's about developing your arts organization and how to engage your community. And also we'll talk about Make Music Day, which is coming up on the solstice in June. But maybe, Wendy, we can start about the Engage event on April 14th right here at Town Hall.
Yes, absolutely. What we're doing is we're doing an Engage workshop. So we're coming from the Cultural Coalition, and we also have representation from the Connecticut Office of the Arts. And the purpose of this workshop is to kind of bring the community together to talk about how we can support our local creative economy. So what we do is we get a lot of people in the room, and we need artists, residents, educators, professionals who own businesses downtown in Willimantic and in Windham.
Right.
We need people from libraries. So just anybody who has a vested interest in Windham. We're looking for also, the municipalities to participate. So what we'd like to do is get everybody in the same room and have a conversation.
Now, it's going to be from 5 to 7. And it'll be in the top of the town hall in Bellingham Auditorium, plenty of room for a crowd to gather. And what would you hope, Wendy, if things go the way you hope, what would the takeaways be for these folks to be able to use the meeting in their own personal plans?
Yeah, absolutely. So the event is on the 14th, which I'm not sure if we mentioned, but it's on April 14th from 5 to 7. And that is correct, John. It's at the Windham Town Hall in that auditorium. And what I hope the takeaways are is just to get everybody from Windham in the same room to start talking about how we could work on something together. So maybe we could do a cultural district. Maybe there is some type of a mural project or something else that we can bring people together to work on in the creative economy to kind of get Windham jump-started and going.
Well, you mentioned the cultural district, and that's a model that's in practice around the state in some towns. Could you take a minute and talk about what it would mean for a town if they decided to manage their economy a little more consciously and make it a district?
Yeah, absolutely. Cultural districts bring the community together. So we have businesses that participate in that, and historical societies, and museums, and other arts organizations and individual artists, and the town as well. And what that does is it's a 1.9 mile or so designated area that is kind of becomes central to the town. So it can be utilized for projects, for events. It can be utilized for marketing purposes. There's even a designation now on the ctvisit.com site just for cultural districts to help market those around the state.
Right. And I know for several years, people in Windham have been talking about using our Main Street area because it's pretty close to what you're talking about with our festivals right here in town.
It's actually perfect, and you already have all of the basics already in place. So it would just be a matter of putting a committee together that could oversee it and figuring out what to do with it, and then putting in an application for the state to become an official designated cultural district.
Yeah, that would be just wonderful. So, by the way, in case you've just joined us, we're talking to Wendy Vincent from the Cultural Coalition. I want you to jot down the website because you can follow up on everything that Wendy's talking about today and a whole lot more throughout the year on their website. It's culturesect.org, and you can sign up and also get a newsletter, and they'll be sending you information all the time. It's a really great way to stay up. If you're working in the arts, you need to network. You need to know who your friends are today. Trying to go alone is just just a very difficult row to hoe, that's for sure. Now, also, a good thing, I'm very happy we're in spring finally. The weather's turning, but the solstice is my big day when summer begins. Can you talk about Make Music Day and how this is going to be, I think, your 8th year doing something in that part of the state, right? 8 years?
I think it is around 8 years. It's a little bit before my time with the organization, but I feel like it has been about that long. So we're excited to do it again this year. So we have a Southeastern Connecticut designation for Make Music Day, where we pull all of those folks together. Also exciting to announce this year is that New London has broken off into its own chapter.
Nice.
So that's really exciting for them to be able to program that.
Great.
And we're also there to discuss and to talk to other places who might also want to become their own chapters.
It's a wonderful celebration that started, I believe, in France many decades ago. It's a global event where people use the solstice. And the whole idea, in a nutshell, is to make music in different places than normal. Not in a concert hall, although you could do that, but a backyard, a porch, a parking lot, a storefront, people making beautiful noise in all kinds of places all day, right? And you've been doing it now. It's down there. People are really, and it's people who are amateurs, experimental noise makers. You don't have to be a pro. Anybody can do this, right?
Absolutely correct, John. And you are so well informed on it. We appreciate that. Thank you.
So I want to mention April 10th is a Zoom meeting to talk about some planning for that. Do you want to mention what you might like to do that day and how people could sign up to get informed? Again, that's going to be April 10th.
That is correct. And if you go to our website, culturesect.org, which John mentioned earlier, you can find the information there. And that is our launch day to kind of talk about it and get ready for the season because, believe it or not, June will be here soon enough. So we'll be able to answer questions there and let you know exactly what's going on and give tips and tricks and connect you if you do want to break off into your own chapter.
Right. So the website is makemusicday.org. That's the main site for the whole organization. And then you do a / Southeastern Connecticut. I think they have something going in Danbury and maybe down in Fairfield somewhere. They have one. Maybe it's Norwalk, I think. Maybe it's Norwalk.
That is correct. And there is also stuff going on in Old Lyme. What we would love to see is it expand a little bit more because we don't quite have as many chapters in the Northeast. So we'd love to be able to encourage people in the Northeast to join this wonderful program as well.
Right. So the way this works, folks, it's really simple from previous years. They set up a website you can go to. And if you want to play, you click on a certain place and you find out where you can play. If you want to host and want to provide a space for people to perform, you sign up and people will know where to contact you. So it works on both ends, and using the website makes it really easy once you know how to connect. It's really simple, and that's why it's working so well all over the world right now. People are really getting into the buzz.
Absolutely. And I just want to mention, John, if I have a couple minutes, I wanted to mention tonight is our Connecticut Arts Heroes Award. In fact, as soon as I'm done on this call with you, I'm about to head into the theater here in Hartford to celebrate our arts heroes in the state.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to be here when you're on the way there. And our own Joe Malinowski is one of the heroes from Windham for his great record store. So it's a great way that you're honoring people that really make a difference in people's lives and the arts, and it's a beautiful thing. It's going to be just in a short while at Liberty, I guess it's Infinity Hall.
Infinity Hall, that's correct.
Yeah.
And there'll be a lot of information online, too, about the arts heroes and how we can continue to celebrate them all year for the work that they've done.
You betcha. You betcha. Okay, Wendy, well, I'll let you get back to the event. Thank you for taking some time to be with us, and I wish you a great turnout again coming up on April 14th. We'll keep talking it up.
Great. Thank you, John. I appreciate your support and all your help.
Take care now. Bye-bye now.
Okay, you too.
Safe
Bye-bye.
travels. Okay. So that, again, is April 14th, 5 to 7 at Town Hall upstairs in Bellingham. They've had other arts meetings, and this town is really growing. I've been here a long time, folks, and there is a wave coming in of good energy, some new businesses. Other events are coming here, so this is something that we should tap into when it's warm, and this is a great thing. So it's the Engage Workshop at the Windham Town Hall. I got a few minutes before they throw me out of here for the Red Sox game, and no, I did not bring my torpedo bat in here, but I'm thinking about getting one if I can afford these damn things. I guess they're a bit pricey, but they seem to work, though, don't they? Those goddamn bats, I tell you. Anyway, some events for you. Go out, support the arts, get your butt out of the house, find a way to get out with friends and support these people, all these events. 12th Night from Shakespeare is at the Windham Theater Guild. They were here last week talking about that. It starts April 4th. It runs through April 13th at different times. If you go to windhamtheaterguild.org, you'll be able to get all the dates and information and the schedule to get your tickets. So that's the Windham Theater Guild. That's 12th Night. The Repair Cafe coming up is Saturday, April 12th, a few blocks away from us at the First Congregational Church. They've been doing this for many years. The whole idea of the Repair Cafe is don't throw things out, fix them, and reuse them or give them away. The Repair Cafe is free. Volunteers gather 4 times a year to help fix things of all kinds. We'll have people here next week to talk about it, but plan ahead. This is spring cleaning time. People are going through the attics or the garages or whatever, and you're finding all this stuff that you might toss. Well, think about reusing it or getting into the Repair Cafe. You'll be surprised what you can do. It's a beautiful thing from 10 to 2 at the First Congregational Church next Saturday, April 12th, so check that out. A couple more things happening right here next to us is the River Room, which is part of the Spiral Arts Art Studio. They're at 50 Riverside Drive. They have their grand opening event. Well, actually, they have their opening event, an open house on Friday, April 18th. There'll be some music there with Bruce John from 5 to 8. If you go to the River Room, you'll get information about that. The website is riverroomwillie.com. They've got a whole program of music going through June. Lots of stuff happening right here in town, a new venue. So go to riverroomwillie.com. And Friday the 18th is one of their opening days. The 25th is a concert. I'll be there with the Grant Sargent Trio. So that's the River Room right here in town. A couple more things before I have time. Next week we're going to have not Phoebe Snow, that's a Freudian slip, Phoebe Godfrey and Juan Pablo at the Molten Lava Art Gallery right here off of Jackson Street in Valley. Is an art show and sale for the weekend of April 18th. It's Thursday through Saturday, April 17, 18, and 19 during the day. And if you go to theneighborfund.org, that's one of the benefits of this. They're raising funds for mutual aid, and they're going to have all kinds of music there, poetry. There'll be crafts and arts for sale and food. It's a nice festival. It's a great art space if you haven't been there. They show movies there on the last Wednesday of every month. They have art shows. People gather and really enjoy that unique space we have. And again, it's very close to where we are right here in downtown Willie. It's April 17th, 5 to 8. It's a Thursday. Friday is April 18th, 3 to 6, and April 19th, 12 to 3. 31 Molten Court is the Molten Lava Gallery. We'll talk about that with those folks. And then another thing we have, the Bread Box folks are at it again. They just had the Modern Vandals, and they have Christine Ullman coming up. This is going to be really cool. Jake Kulak and the Modern Vandals, kind of a blues band. They're going to be Sunday, April 6th. 4 o'clock is the usual time, 4 o'clock Sunday. So that's a blues thing this Sunday. And then later in the month, 27th, Christine Ullman and Rebel Montez, a great show again, 4 p.m. at the Covenant Soup Kitchen events at St. Paul's Church. Go to breadboxfolk.org, and you'll have all the information there about their events throughout the year. Okay. By the way, Matt, I wanted to ask, is the new radio show with Chris starting yet? It's still delayed.
Delayed, yes.
Okay. Some of the people at the River Room are getting together a show here on Wednesdays at some point to begin to bring that to life on the radio.
Tuesdays.
So, Tuesdays now.
Tuesdays.
Oh.
Tuesdays at 3 is supposed to be.
Okay. Well, they're putting it together now. They're opening in a few days. They're working really hard to get it set up. But at some point, they'll be here in the studio to share their story and to share this music, because it's great to have a venue in town. So one more thing I want to mention, too, is that the email is john@humanartsmedia.com. And I'm very happy to have you in the studio. If you have some news that you just want to share, send me a flyer, and I'll mention it on the show. If you want to come in and tell your story with more detail with some friends, feel free to send me a note, and we'll schedule a time. There's a couple of issues that we're going to be following in the next few months. One of them is about the current legislative session and health care. There were recent hearings. There's bills out affecting health care in our state. I've been covering it for a long time. We'll continue to have people here talking about how health care is being restructured and how access is changing. That's one of our tracks. Also, the right to die. I've got interviews planned in May with people, death and dying, talking about your freedom to choose when to end your life. It's a controversial issue. There's a whole movement around the country and world, in fact, to give people another level of freedom in terms of their own life. And it's a legal dilemma right now, but we're going to talk about it, I believe, in early May with some people involved in Connecticut and also at the national level. We're also talking about electricity rates. You know how crazy it is now, and we're going to talk about local providers, people that provide oil, people that provide natural gas, how the supply chain is being affected by tariffs. President Trump is announcing right now this afternoon a whole range of tariffs affecting a lot of energy as well as everything else. So as the energy sector is shifting, they're changing the ways that it's regulated. This also goes for electricity in Connecticut. So that's one thing that we're going to track as well. The other thing that we'll always do is where we started is the arts. We'll talk about all the venues, the arts festivals, the special summer events. We'll be here every Wednesday live on WILI, AM 1400 and 95.3 on the good old FM. And we're also on WICH, a sister station covering Norwich and New London on Fridays at 11 o'clock. Our friends at WECS at Eastern Aris, and we're also on Channel 192 at Charter Spectrum Public Access. So however you catch us, we're glad to have some time with you. We'll look forward to keeping with you throughout the year. Once again, to get involved, just use the email john@humanartsmedia.com, and we'll see you next week. Take care, and go Red Sox.